Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about how I personally leveled up and manifested the life I have right now. And I think to fully appreciate where I'm at now, you have to kind of know where I came from. So I want to say all of this, what you see, happened or started about 5 years ago. But let me paint a picture of my life 5 years ago. So I was someone who I was working as an accountant. I was doing the 9 to 5, definitely working on my grind. I was super disheveled, frumpy, tired. I didn't like what I was doing. I wasn't really happy, but I had no other choice. That was my life. That was, what I was doing. And but luckily for me, I did believe in manifestation. I had watched The Secret, so I knew that there was a better life for me out there. And the only other thing I knew what to do is like just to work really hard to get there. So I did that. I mean, I did not take the easy route. I did everything I could to try to better my life. For example, I would do my 9 to 5, and then after work, I would work an additional several hours working on my food blog. Why? Because that was the only outlet that I could see that I could throw my creativity and my skill set into. So I would work my 9 to 5, I would work several hours into the night on my food blog. Then I'd go to the gym, I'd come home, I'd cook dinner, I'd pack my big gym bag, and then wake up and do the same thing the next day. So it was just a life of like being on the grind. And I mean, I can't take those days back. It is what it is. But yeah, so I started off as an accountant. I had graduated. I did my CPA. I got engaged, married. We bought a condo. We remodeled that condo to our dream home using the very little resources that we had. And we just did it by being super resourceful and creative. And we put our all into it. And we created a very beautiful life for us. Um, but in addition to all of that, so how I went from there to here. Number one, first of all, I always did my affirmations. I did my affirmations. Why? Because affirmations help you determine where you want to go and what you want your life to look like. So I think that is like step one into manifesting your future self. So always did it. However, every year that I would do my affirmations or like set the intentions and set my goals, it never came true. And the piece that was missing is I was not taking any aligned action, or it wasn't the right action, or it wasn't the right action in the right amount. So that's step one is you can sit there and do all the affirmations, but just doing that alone isn't going to get you there. And I didn't learn this till way later on, way later, after like many, many, many years. So, during that process, I got the calling to start a business. It was my door business. I had started it a long time ago. It had failed, and because it failed, I was a little hesitant to go forward with it again. My partner didn't really want me to do it or just didn't want to be involved with it, which is fine. I totally respect that. But unfortunately, if you look at like all the things that you want, I would bet that a lot of the things that you want have to do with money. Unfortunately, we need money to acquire certain things. So, if I could impart anything to you, it's first figuring out how can you utilize your time to the fullest to actually generate more income. And luckily, through twists and turns and this and that, I ended up creating a business where I could actually work from home, which was like my dream outcome. All I ever wanted, all I was ever striving for was just learning how to make money from home. That was my number one goal, and I worked at it like endlessly. Like I just didn't stop. Like that was my number one focus is how can I make money from home? How can I make money from home? So And if you are in this situation, listen to your internal nudges. All those nudges that come to you are your own desires speaking up and trying to tell you what direction to go into. So if you have this desire to work from home, or if you have this desire to drive that car, or to buy this purse, or those pair of shoes, or to live in this other city, those are all basically God or your internal self talking to you and telling you what direction to go into. So don't ignore those internal nudges. So anyway, started this business and things really changed for me from that point. It wasn't, if I'm being honest, it wasn't even a struggle. Once I got the ball rolling, once I put one foot in front of another, everything just started to line up and to, you know, um, just work itself out. Now, granted, sure, I didn't start with like this goal of like, oh, I'm gonna make 100,000 this month, and I didn't hit it, and so now I'm saying like, oh, it didn't work. No, I mean like I was generally happy with whatever I could make. So I think part of it is having that emotional set point of being an already happy person so that everything that happens that's great in your life is just cherry on top. And that's how I live my life. Like I live my life generally happy, and anything beautiful that comes my way is just like it's amazing. It's great. Like I don't live my life with a set point of like being upset or miserable or I'm lacking and I don't have this and I need that. So, always like try to keep that in mind is like because if you're living in a negative set point, then more money isn't going to make any difference, to be honest with you. So just try to appreciate where you are right now. And then anything that comes after this is going to be amazing. So started my business. The money started coming in a little bit, little by little, and after I started the business, what happened? So it was time to really step into that version of myself that I had always wanted. And having the business really helped unlock that for me. And it just, so what I did is I ended up taking the energy of the business and then I threw it into other areas of my life. I amplified the energy of that and the momentum, and I put a little bit of that towards investing into myself. And I think the first thing I did was I focused on myself physically. So I wanted to physically show up as my future self. So I really went headfirst into working out. I worked out daily. I ate healthier because even if I go and I buy like a really nice wardrobe or makeup or I learn how to do my hair differently, if I'm not healthy, if I'm not physically fit, what good is all of that? Honestly. I mean, I think clothes look better on you when you show up like in a more fitter version of yourself. I'm not saying we all have to be like Victoria's Secret models, but why not put our best foot forward in every way possible? So I definitely first focused on leveling up my body. It was during the pandemic, so I was like working out every day. I was not drinking because we weren't going out. I was not eating out. So that really helped me to shed some excess fat that I didn't need. And, I was skinny without a whole lot of muscle, but still it felt good enough because I was still looking better in my clothes, which I was happy about. After that, after I felt like my body was more on point, I felt like the next thing I wanted to level up in is my workout attire. So I just felt like, okay, if I'm working out, I deserve to look good when I work out, and having newer workout clothes is going to encourage me further to working out even more. And so that was my first like thing that I decided to invest in, which was now it's time to show up better when I work out, even if it's just at home for myself, even if I'm just no one's going to see me working out, but you just show up looking better and more ready to go. So whenever I'm feeling a little stagnant, I go back to like my workout clothes and I'm like, okay, I think it's time to like level this up. So I'll get rid of like my old clothes and I'll bring in some new energy and it just revives me and makes me feel really good. So first it was like my workout clothes before investing into any other type of clothing. And the next thing I did is I actually went to Google and I started to Google leveling up tips, mentors, things like that. And I actually came across someone who had some course and I ended up buying this course. And at the time, this was $1,000. And at the time, that was the first time I had ever invested that kind of money into anything like this, into any kind of course or program or things that were not like outside of like school or career. So this was my first one, and it was like a big shift for me, but I did it. And I gained a lot from that. It just got me thinking about every area of my life, from how I dress to my hair, my nails, how I present myself, like certain etiquette, everything. So I did that. So that was kind of my first real introduction to like having a mentor slash coach. Um, and yeah, I mean, at the time it was a really big deal. Now I've paid more than 10 times that for certain coaching containers. I miss the days when it was only $1,000. It is no longer $1,000 anymore. And after that, and I think being in that the energy of that container, which was specifically geared to literally leveling up, I decided, okay, now I think it's time to update my wardrobe. But looking back, I'm very happy and proud of myself for the way I did it because everything I spent, it was really and truly an investment back into myself. So I didn't just willy-nilly take my money and then just go buy a bunch of clothes. I bought things super strategically. I needed a beige designer shoes and designer bag. So I did just that. I didn't go and get any more than was necessary. I already had like the black purse and the black shoes, and I just invested a little bit more. In fact, that day that I did it, I bought both in one day. I both bought both the designer shoes and the designer purse in one day. That in itself was such a quantum shift because never in a million years did I ever think I would be the woman that could go and do that. Up until that point, I had to essentially almost rely on my husband to get any kind of designer thing that I wanted because it just was out of my budget. I couldn't really afford it myself. And even then, it was still a little bit of a like, oh, kind of feeling like, oh my God, are we really doing this? And it was something that like we almost had to like save up for. We had to like think about. We had to really make sure that this was the right thing. And now I'm getting both in the same day. So that to me was such a powerful, happy, blessed moment. I even like I took a picture of that moment because I was like, this is like a moment for me where I can just go into the store and buy both at the same time. I'll never forget it. But that's what I did. So to me, I looked at that as like an investment, which I still use both of the things that I bought. Like I've used them, maybe at least the purse, like thousands of times probably at this point. Um, so in addition to the purse and the shoes, I also looked into my wardrobe. And what I did personally is I went to Aritzia and I bought an entire wardrobe from Aritzia because I love their quality. I love the colors. I could mix and match the tops with the bottoms and create 10 more or 20 or 30 or 50 more outfits with the same pieces, which I absolutely loved. And because the quality was so good and because it was all coming from the same place, it just gave me a very cohesive look. And it was such classic, like um, timeless styles and very almost like old money and very classy, like super classy. And that was like the direction I wanted to go into. I wanted to go into very classy vibes. In fact, I'm still wearing Aritzia. Like I bought this shirt from Aritzia maybe 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago at this point, and I still wear it. Like I still love it so much. In fact, I would still shop there from today. And if anyone were to ask me today, where can they go to level up their wardrobe? I'd probably tell them to start at Aritzia. You can't go wrong because you will still wear those pieces like for years to come. Okay. So after I leveled up my wardrobe, I'm looking better physically, like health-wise. My wardrobe has improved. I'm doing like the classy nails of like the French tip. Just feeling overall good. Then I decided to start leveling up the places that I hung out. I started to go to just better parts of town, and I stopped eating at like crap restaurants. So I used to be a food blogger, and I, as a food blogger, would go anywhere and everywhere. It didn't matter how healthy or unhealthy. If it was something worth trying, I would go. And I just decided that in this next version of myself, like that is my old identity. I am putting that aside. I am no longer the kind of person that goes to places just because it's super affordable or you get a lot of bang for your buck or they're inviting me for free. Like, I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to make very conscious decisions about what I put in my body, and I only want to feed my body the purest of ingredients. Don't want to eat crap, don't want to eat filler food, don't want to eat fried food, unhealthy. I don't want it. Like, that is not me anymore. I treat my body like it's a temple, and I only want to feed my body very, very pure ingredients. So I essentially stopped blogging about food. I know some of my followers were kind of upset and they were telling me, like, oh, when are you coming back? When are you going to start blogging again? And I keep saying, I know, but I just haven't quite figured it out how to uh, blog in a consistent way that also is in tune or in alignment with where I'm at right now. The only thing I can do is show what I eat on a daily basis, but that's super boring. Like I eat very boring now because I'm eating healthy, I'm eating the same foods day in, day out, and who wants to watch healthy food? Like, especially if it's done in a boring, repetitive way. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. So that kind of answers the question as to like why I'm not like out there blogging all the time. It's because I personally don't eat a lot of restaurant food anymore. It's a treat. It happens once in a while. So that's kind of where I'm at. If it doesn't align with me, like I won't eat it. And then there were other random things that I did to level up or feel leveled up, or things that like I did that just gave me like this yummy, life-giving energy. And one of those things was like I leveled up my credit card and I got a platinum business card from American Express, and I also got the personal platinum card. Each card is like $700 just to have for the year. Again, it's like, who am I? Like, I was not that kind of person that did that. Like, I was not that person that could even afford like extra like expenses, let alone to pay extra just to have a certain credit card. So again, another type of identity shifting thing that I did that just changed everything for me. That, we think, okay, it's $700 a year, but like, what am I really getting? And it's like, yes, it's $700, but now you have access to lounges. Now, it's like you're part of like this exclusive club. And I don't know, it's just an amazing feeling. I can't describe it. So I did that, and that really um made me feel like a whole new person. And now those feelings, I'll be honest with you, are totally normalized for me. So, yes, I think back and I remember how exciting it was at the time, but now it's normalized. And now I am trying to bring in the energy of my future self here. So, I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like because I feel like I've hit the pinnacle, but I know that there's so much more left. So, I'm really trying to like pull that in and figure out like how to get into the energy of my future self and what that could potentially look like. All right. So at that point, I had leveled up my nails, got them done always. I leveled up my wardrobe, my body, how I showed up, the location, the places I hung out, and the food that I ate. And then I felt another calling. I felt the calling to move to Miami. And why I moved to Miami is because my overall impression before moving here is that this is the place where people come to be that next level version of themselves. This is where you come if you want to be rich and hot, or if you are rich and hot. And I'm like, okay, I need to go learn from those people. I need to go learn what are they doing? How are they living life? Why do I have this impression of them? Is it really true? So I wanted to like kind of be in that energy and that presence. And I came here and it was everything I thought it would be. It is definitely the type of city that will force you to raise your standards, to raise your quality of life. Everyone here walks around with six packs, six pack abs. Like that's going to force you to level up. You're going to think twice about what you eat and what you consume and how you go about your daily life. There is such a big fit culture here, like healthy living, workout culture. So it's almost impossible to bypass that. It'd be really impossible. And the people here are just like super good looking, men and women. It's like literally you're living in a magazine. Like everyone is just super good looking. I mean, yeah, I love it. The next thing I did to also help expand my everything, my life, my way of living, my mindset was I enrolled in Tony Robbins, all of his courses. He has like, I think it's like 5 courses. So I enrolled in all the courses and I signed up for his coaching. So it's like in within his company, he has trained other coaches and they will then train you. So I also purchased like couple years worth of coaching from them. And I want to say the coaching helped dramatically because it was the biggest accountability partner I could ever hope for. They forced me to essentially, and by force, I don't mean like actually force, but basically it forced me to set all my goals. And then I actually had to have them done by the time our next phone call came. Because if I didn't, I'd get in trouble. So I really, and I didn't want to let my coach down. So I really did all the things I said I was going to do. And it naturally forces you to, it moves the needle forward. Every time you have that call, you've moved the needle forward. You've achieved that. You achieved this little win. You moved your business here. You gained this many more clients or this much more revenue, whatever it is like you and your coach discussed. So I think those two things combined, the courses plus his coaching, really took me to like another level with everything, with fitness, with income, revenue, all of that. Let's see, reading my notes. Yeah, and like doing that just helped me expand my capacity overall with like spending and investing in myself because I'm sure you probably know Tony Robbins isn't cheap, but I knew that I am going to make this money back, and I did. And it is an investment in myself, and I will never lose that money. You will never lose that money. Being in a room with Tony Robbins, first of all, he's like my hero, right? And there will come a day where he probably won't be doing this anymore. So, just like seeing your favorite artist in concert, this was like seeing my favorite artist in concert, and I want to see him while he's still alive and thriving and still doing this. So that's why I hurried up and signed up because he doesn't even teach all his courses anymore. Now you can tell like he's trying to transition out, and some of them he is having other people teach it. So, if you ever have plans on taking any kind of Tony Robbins things, I suggest you get on that right now. So, on top of all of that, through on the personal development, professional coaching, personal development, on top of all of that, I have my own daily rituals, which I do, which feel like a level up version of me. For example, I do massages once or twice a week. I get my facials. I do my body scrubs. I have a personal trainer. I decided that I'm the kind of person that has fresh flowers in my home at all times. Those are just to name a few. Of course, if you want more ideas of like what you can do specifically or how you can just live this like next level version of yourself, I would love to invite you to check out my book called Sexy Rich Body. I actually wrote that during my time here in Miami when it was all very fresh in my head. Everything that I did to get like and become that next level luxurious, sexy, and rich version of myself, I documented in here. So I will go ahead and link this in the description box below. Okay. Um, and that now brings me to present day. So, what I'm doing today is I am still working on my body. I have new body goals that I'm working towards. So, yes, I want to be super muscular, but I am trying to basically grow my glutes naturally. And at the same time, working towards more money, leveling up my business. Obviously, I wrote my book. I have an endless list of desires and goals that I have, goals to retire parents and to travel with them and do a TEDx talk, which is what I'm currently working towards. I just started this YouTube channel. I'm in like three coaching containers outside of this. It's just a lot. Like my days don't end till like 10, 11 at night. And honestly, I love it. Like, so I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that I am now even more so working towards that next level version of myself into something that I might not even recognize. I might not even know I want today because the life I had today, my little brain could not even fathom it 5 years ago. But where I am 5 years ago to where I am now, 5 years ago, I was someone that was like tired, frumpy, disheveled, overworked, underpaid, didn't quite take pride in her body and her mind and her temple. She just ate whatever she wanted. She didn't really work out. And now I'm that person who has super high standards for herself. I show up differently, like I present myself different. I dress differently. My workouts are different. My diet is different. Everything about me is so completely different from where I was 5 years ago. And now I'm just working on the next level. So, anyway, that was kind of my own personal level up journey and how I manifested my future self. I hope that guys were able to take some kind of nuggets or information from this video. If you ever have any questions, always feel free to ask. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.